The Kudzukian Network presents Grindset, inside the mind of successful entrepreneurs with your host, Cynthia Daniels and Williams Brack.
I think sometimes we overplan things and that can kind of cause a delay or setback. But I would definitely say dive in, get your name started, get your website up, get your business cards.
But you're going to learn from a lot of amazing people what kind of pitfalls that they have, the challenges, but what really made them successful, what made them keep going.
Grindset.
Welcome back to another episode of Grindset. I'm your host, Williams Brack. Our other host, Cynthia Daniels, is on vacation, and so me and the Grindset team are trying to hold down the fort today. Today's guest is going to be Samantha Green, CEO of Lilee's Gourmet Bakery. And the secret ingredient of Lilee's muffin and in her bakery is everything is made with zucchinis. Now, personally, I just met zucchinis about 5 or 6 years ago, and now I'm to the point where I'm eating them in muffins. And I ate a couple of them last night, and I tell you, they're delicious. And I also read Samantha's feature in the new Tri-State Defender, and she has a great story. You're listening to Grindset, powered by the Kudzukian Network, and we'll be right back with Samantha Green of Lilee's Gourmet Bakery.
Grindset on the Kudzukian Network.
As promised, we have Samantha Green, CEO of Lilee's Gourmet Bakery. Samantha, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So tell the Grindset audience a little bit about Lilee's Gourmet Bakery and what you do.
Okay, well, we are a 5-generation farm-based business. We're out of Tate County, Mississippi. We were raised on a farm. I have 7 sisters and 2 brothers.
Wow.
And so my family was always in agriculture. And so basically when we were inherited our property, we decided on doing something different. And so my brother always still grows his vegetable garden. He still loves his farming. And we figured out as the sisters, well, what are we going to do?
Okay.
So I have a few retired sisters as well. And we figured, well, why don't we go ahead and make the traditional zucchini bread that we always made at home?
How old is this tradition? Is it like we just started this last year tradition?
It's about 25 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about 25 years old. It was in the 90s.
Wow.
So our mother, who's always in the kitchen, always encouraged us to make creative things as well. And so having a brother who always enjoys farming, you do not let his vegetables go unwanted. As he would tell you, you do not burn diesel fuel for his produce to ruin in the garden.
Wow.
So therefore, we made sure that we use all of his zucchini, because once you grow zucchini is very rapidly grown. You can grow 2 and 3 acres, 2 and 3 rows of zucchini, and it grows rapidly. When it rains, you got to be out there to harvest it.
Wow.
So basically, in the summer months during this time of year, the zucchini is growing. And so at that time, you got to find something to do with zucchini. Either you're going to blanch it, you're going to freeze it, you're going to do zucchini soup with it, you're going to do something with it. So we have all these recipes with zucchini, first of all. But the main thing that we always did with it was do zucchini bread.
Okay.
And so it was easy to harvest it, easy to shred it, to do your creative recipes with it, and then you could freeze it for the winter.
Okay.
And so that satisfied our brother of making sure that we use all of his produce that he grew.
That's excellent.
Yes.
Zero waste.
Zero waste. Zero waste.
So how do you decide to go from growing zucchini and feeding zucchini bread to the family to deciding to sell it to other people?
Well, we always had this recipe. The cinnamon spice was our zucchini bread.
Okay.
And then we add a few raisins too once in a while. But what happened was we would have the bread given to the community, churches, institutions, and they came back and said to us, "Do you all still make that zucchini bread?" And we didn't know that impact, that impression was on people, the taste of the zucchini bread.
Okay.
So we figured, well, since my sisters had retired, they figured, well, why don't we just go ahead and just make it and have a business? And so at that time, my husband and I, we had retired from the insurance agency. And so we had, sold the business. So I said, well, he still loves real estate and I still love doing something in the kitchen.
Okay.
So we decided to go ahead and just form Lilee's Gourmet Bakery. And Lilee is our mother's name.
Oh, wow.
So we couldn't get it spelled like her name. So we still went ahead and got the Lilee to make it sound like her name.
So it's an ode to your mother.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
You're listening to Grindset, powered by the Kudzukian Network, and we're talking about Lilee's Gourmet Bakery and the zucchini bread. So, do you remember your first customer?
Yes, at the farmer's market.
Yeah, what was that experience like, actually getting paid for your family's recipe?
Well, I must say the very first day of the farmer's market, my car broke down, and I had all this bread in the car. And my husband had to and I was only 5 minutes from the house because he told me not to use this car. He said he was going to go ahead and get it taken to the shop. I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, it's going to work today. It'll work today. I get maybe 5 minutes from the house and it breaks down.
Wow. So
he has to come and scoop me up and take me to the farmer's market. And my sister is there and because I'm late.
Yeah.
So she's waiting for me. So I have all the support around me. I have my sisters, I have my husband, I have my brother who grows the zucchini. So all this support, it doesn't really deter you, but you do have those obstacles.
Yeah.
So I'm broken down in heat here at the on the side of the road. He has to get me to the farmer's market. And so there I am. He unloads me to my sister, and we get our table set up. We get our tablecloth and we get everything displayed. And so at the farmer's market, they tasted and we had the muffins for 2 for $5. And people gave us money for our bread, and it was very intriguing. So we really enjoyed doing this. So we have a need. We have a wholesome product that we enjoy making. There's no preservatives. There's no synthetics. It's just wholesome, good baking.
Oh, I can attest to the deliciousness too. I had a couple before the interview. And so you started at farmers markets, but now you do business with Kroger and Whole Food. You sell on Amazon.
Yes.
What was the process to move from the farmers market to these big grocery stores?
Well, one thing about it was we had maybe 8 to 11 farmers markets. And once you build your revenue that way, and you can introduce that to the stores. One of the first stores that took us in was Miss Cordelia's grocery store in Harbortown. That was our very first store. Yeah. They really do promote locals. So that was our very first store that we were able to introduce our muffins to. And then after that, we were there for maybe a year or so. And then we decided we will go ahead and approach Whole Foods. And Whole Foods as well, it's a corporation, but you have to know how to go ahead and, how to handle a corporation because it's not a one-man show. You got to go so many channels. You go through the bakery manager. The bakery manager has to go through the regional manager, and they have to come down and do a visit with you and taste your muffins. And they have to have the right budget in place to help support locals. And this is a 13-month duration.
Wow. With Whole Foods?
With Whole Foods.
Wow.
And you have to just be persistent, and it'll come. You go into the store, you introduce yourself, and you write. We do a lot of writing.
Yeah.
We do a lot of writing. We would write to, the managers. I may see you verbally and talk to you, but I'm still going to go home and write as well what I just...
Follow up and follow through.
Yes, yeah. And the same thing with Kroger's.
Okay.
It was the same thing. And Kroger's was, I figured, we had been in Whole Foods for a couple of months. We're going to go ahead and try Kroger's.
Yeah.
And Kroger's as well. It was really great. It was a Monday. And this is the thing. I know no one to help me in merging into corporations.
Okay.
I didn't have my cousin or a great friend who was the bakery manager at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And I knew no one at Kroger's. No one. So, but I did know from research, the regional office was here in Memphis. So your Delta regional office, which covers all the stores in this Delta region, Mississippi, Arkansas, Little Rock, and it goes as far as Jackson, Tennessee.
Yep.
So the Delta regional office was here in Memphis. So I just went there one morning. I knew no one. I had no appointment. And I said, well, I'm going to go with my muffins. And I had a box of muffins I made Sunday night.
Fresh.
Yes. And I went to the front desk at Kroger's, and I asked the two ladies who was the receptionist, I said, I need to speak to someone about becoming a local vendor at Kroger. And they looked at me and they're like, you want to do what? And I said, I need to speak to someone about becoming a local vendor for Kroger.
You just did this all on your own.
Yes.
So we're gonna pause right there. Mm-hmm. We're gonna take a quick break, and then when we get back, we're gonna talk about how you actually broke into Kroger and what getting in is one thing, and we're gonna talk about how you fulfill the orders in the next segment.
Okay. All right.
You're listening to Grindset, powered by the Kudzukian Network, and we'll be right back.
Grindset on the Kudzukian Network.
Jazz, America's own original musical art form. When did it start? Who were and are some of the major players? How do you distinguish what kind of jazz you're listening to? We talk about the great and lesser-known artists, songs and tunes, the instruments, and the social impact jazz has had on world culture since its beginning at the start of the 20th century.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kudzukian Network.
Welcome back. We're here with Samantha Green, CEO of Lilee's Gourmet Bakery. And when we left off, we were talking about the experience of going into Kroger. Now, locally, whether you make juices or it's baked goods, you want that exposure to a major supermarket chain. And so let's go a bit deeper into your experience of actually getting into Kroger and filling not only the first order, but kind of where you are today.
Okay. Well, basically, I went in for that day on a Monday morning, and I knew no one to ask for. So the receptionist did find the two people that I need to see. Okay. So she finds out their names and numbers, and she writes them on a sticky note, and she hands it to me and says, "You need to call and make an appointment." And in my mind, I am here with a box of muffins. So I didn't want to, make an issue of it, but I wished her a good day and thanked her. And I took the little sticky note she gave me. So I walk outside with my muffins. I take my muffins off her desk. I walk outside, and before I get in the car, before I turn on the ignition, that first mind says, call right now. Call right now to make your appointment.
Nothing better than right now, huh?
Right. So I call one of the two numbers. I called the one that I could pronounce the name. Because one of the names I couldn't pronounce the name to. So I called the number, and someone picked up the phone. So there I go. My first pitch. I give her my name, where I'm from, Lilee's Gourmet. We're in Whole Foods. We also do the farmers markets. It's all natural, and I'm local. Our brother grows the zucchini squash. And she goes, I wish you was here with some samples. I said to her, well, I'm in the parking lot right now. And she goes, you're in the parking lot? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, your receptionist said to call to make an appointment. And she goes, well, come on in.
Local, huh?
Local. So there I was with my box of muffins again. And that's all I wanted. Okay. To give her a pitch, to give her my samples, and give her my brochures. Wow. That's all I wanted.
And what did you get?
In 30 days, I got a vendor packet.
Wow.
In 30 days. Because after that meeting her, I went home and wrote her a letter thanking her for seeing me and everything I had just told her verbally. And then after that, we were communicating pretty much every day. She would know about my SKU numbers, my vendor numbers, things of that nature. And everyone in that office, in her office in the Delta region, they issued me a vendor packet.
Wow. And
in that vendor packet, that's when I started completing all the work.
You're listening to Grindset, powered by the Kudzukian Network. And we're talking about the experience of trying to grow a business. And you're in Kroger, right?
Yes.
And so what's the experience of baking muffins in the kitchen and selling at farmers markets to baking to sell in Kroger and Whole Foods? Talk to about that transition.
Well, the transition was not that different, because in the farmer's market, I was in my home with a permit from the state of Tennessee to bake in my home.
Okay.
So when I expanded into the commercial bakery, that same inspector just moved over to the bakery and gave me another permit per square footage of my bakery.
Got it.
So the recipes didn't change very much. They had already been inspected by the state of Tennessee Agriculture Department. And I had already gone through all of my training to have a permit through the state. So
what's the process like to get a cooking permit in your home kitchen?
Well, back then you could do it.
Okay.
Now you can't, but they had a training class you could take online.
Okay.
You didn't have to go out of the city or anything, or go out of your home. They had a training class online back then, and then you would take there was a computerized test to take. They would tell you as well, go to get the business license.
Yep.
And then they would come in and give you a permit once they inspect your kitchen and everything about your kitchen, where you keep your ingredients, and they would issue you a permit. And back then it was $50 for
That's
your
it.
Yeah. For a permit. Mm-hmm.
And so now you're in a commercial kitchen, you're in Kroger's. What are the challenges to kind of filling those orders, right? You need product in the store to sell it. Have there been any challenges there? And if so, how have you overcome them?
Basically, challenges would be making sure you can get the ingredients at the right price.
Okay.
Because there's always, you want to have your profit ratio at the price that it needs to be. And then packaging. Packaging was a very huge challenge, and we were able to get the boxes that we have once we designed them. But it was only because being in Whole Food first, they sold well in Whole Foods, but we were in soft packaging, which is a polypropylene bag.
Yep.
But they said, well, you're selling pretty good. We want to put you on the table, so therefore you got to go into hard packaging. So we need another packaging supply. So therefore, we go into an actual box, and that is well worked with Kroger's.
Well, I mean, you're coming from a farm, right? You plant the seed, you water it, you take care of the field, and then you get your crop. But this is business. Now you're talking polypropylene and hard boxes, right?
Right.
I mean, what's the education process to get to the point where you can do all this stuff and make sure the business is profitable? We do a lot of research, and we love Google and YouTube. Yeah.
And also we read about other people and their stories of how they got into business. Even, like Martha Stewart, famous Amos. You read their stories because they're not that different as far as going into retail sales. Yeah. So you read their stories and you get how they maneuvered, and then you create your own, being in entrepreneurship. So you create your own. But basically being able to design your boxes and also go through making sure you got the right ingredients, researching all of those ingredients that you really can't get, in a regular store. You don't go in a grocery store now and get all your ingredients anymore. You just go to wholesale places.
Got it.
To get it. And you want the same quality. So you're trying to keep the same quality that you had when you were in your kitchen at home.
And so did you do all this research on your own, or did you have help?
I do have help, yes. One thing about being in business, you're not a one-man show when you get into Whole Foods and Kroger's.
Yeah.
The paperwork can be massive. And my sisters take care of all of our accounting.
Okay.
The fifth generation helps with the technology as far as designing the logo, help designing the boxes, the literature as well. One of my nieces is a journalist.
Okay.
So she writes quite eloquently. So she's able to actually help out with those areas, because I can't do it all myself. And mainly having a family who really appreciates the farm, because we're all connected to the farm.
Yes,
it's all our farm.
It's definitely important to kind of self-educate. And so we're going to take a break right here. But when we get back, we're going to talk about the future of Lilee's Gourmet Bakery and what's next for you. You're listening to Grindset, powered by the Kudzukian Network, and we'll be right back.
The Chairman's Perspective.
Hi, this is Lee Eric Smith. Let's take a look inside Shelby County government as we unleash some of the views of our very own Chairman of the Shelby County Commission, Van Turner. The Chairman's Perspective on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Kudzukian.com, or your favorite podcast provider.
The Chairman's Perspective on the Kudzukian Network.
Hi, I'm Samantha Green, owner of Lilee's Gourmet Bakery, and when I'm not creating my uniquely nutritious muffins, I'm checking out Grindset on the Kudzukian app or your favorite podcast provider.
Welcome back to Grindset. We're here with Samantha Green, CEO of Lilee's Gourmet Bakery. And, you're in Kroger, you sell on Amazon, you're in Whole Foods, you still do farmers market. And what we want to talk about is what's next, what's in the future. But we want to start with the present. Is the business profitable today?
Yes, it is. It's profitable, but not where we want it to be right now. But it does pay the bills. So
talk to us about the ultimate vision for Lilee's Gourmet Bakery.
We want to be able to educate even more about what we do, as far as our gluten-free products that we also offer.
Okay.
And that everything else is all natural. And I think also the public is getting really more engaged in what we do as far as having all natural.
Okay.
People are really getting to where if you can't read the ingredient list, you don't want to eat it.
That's especially me.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are going that way, and we want to be able to provide our products for the public.
And so I don't think we did a good job of this in the beginning. What are all of the products and flavors, if you may?
Okay, well, we have all of our muffins are zucchini based.
Okay.
And we have 3 delicious flavors. We have a cinnamon spice, our original.
Mm-hmm.
We have a carrot pecan zucchini, a chocolate zucchini as well. And then we have a gluten-free version. Mm. So gluten-free chocolate and also gluten-free cinnamon spice.
When you grow the business, will you also be growing flavors, or you're growing locations, you're growing the types of businesses you sell to? What's kind of the growth plan that you've discussed with your family?
Mainly, we want to grow in the sense of farming more as well, and growing as far as having employees.
Okay.
So we want to be able to have grow in the company, grow with employees, because we want to have a team. We can't just do it by ourselves, and we don't have to have everybody in the family working for the company. We want to be able to actually hire other people and have their talents as well to grow the company.
Now, how far away is the business from hiring someone else in to help with the operation?
I would say about maybe another couple of months or so.
Okay.
Not very long, because as long as we are pushing our product as far as marketing, and that we're being more aggressive to get our story known, then the demands are there.
So at what point in the business did you decide that marketing was important and decided to actually put money into it versus just using word of mouth?
At the farmer's market, basically. At the farmer's market, you're doing your marketing there. You had one Facebook page, and then you realize that you can't do it any longer once you have multiple Kroger stores and multiple Whole Foods stores, that you just need to have someone else just to take care of that for you. And so that's what we did. So early on, we said, well, we can't do the paperwork. We can't do social media. We need to have some help to do those things.
Got it. And so what other kind of professionals, so you use a marketing person, do you use accountants and attorneys and all these things to help grow the business? You're listening to Grindset, and now we're talking about professionals that businesses use and the professionals that you use in your business.
Right. Yeah. I don't do my own accounting.
Okay.
The taxes are due, and they have to have all their records straight. So you need to have someone to all your receipts. You keep all your receipts. You give it to your bookkeeper, which is my sisters, and they take care of all the records. They compile everything, and then we give it to the CPA and file the taxes. So that's just mainly, you just have to just do it the right way, starting out up front, because we did get catched a little bit there with not filing certain things.
Got it.
And so, but once you learn it the first time, you got it. You get some penalties to pay, you learn very well. So
now, for the women that's listening, you're an Allstate agency and things were going well. And what said, I know you had the conversation with your family, but what kind of spurred you? What happened in the moment that spurred you to actually start this business?
There was a need for healthy eating, and healthier choices. And so being that we have a farm and we're looking to do something else with our farm besides the traditional, we said, well, since our brother's doing what he does, let's continue that and actually have an added value product. So he grows the zucchini and we make the zucchini bread. So it's an added value product.
That's beautiful.
Which is very much needed in the community.
Are there any other added value products that you guys will be getting into? Or are you focused on the gourmet breads right now?
Well, right now we are focused on the gourmet breads. So we have not... it's just so much room to grow in that area for right now that we're going to just stay there for the moment.
How many millions would you like to grow this business to?
I guess to the point to where we have over, let's say, 2 to 3 million people or 5 million people consuming our product. And then as long as we're serving 5 million people, then you've got what you need to pay your employees very well, pay bonuses, and everyone can live quite well.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you for sharing. So where can our audience find information on Lilee's Gourmet Bakery?
Well, we do have a website. It's liliesgourmet.com. Also, we engage you to invite you to be in our social media as well, because we do have a lot of recipes.
What are your social media handles?
Social media handles is Lilee's Gourmet Bakery at Facebook, and it's the same for the Instagram and also the Twitter.
That's pretty consistent.
Yes. Yes. So you'll see certain things that we did for 4th of July. We had the American Fusion.
Okay.
Using certain toppings that you can put on your muffins that is also healthy. Different things you can do for recipes like for breakfast. And also children love peanut butter on a cinnamon spice muffin.
Really? I think I might try that one.
Yes. That's very intriguing to them. They love peanut butter on cinnamon spice. So that was very nice.
Well, I think you're in a fantastic space. People want to eat simply. They want to know, be able to read, the ingredients that they're of the foods they're eating. And they want to trust that it's locally grown and locally made. And you're doing such a fantastic job of that. And this is one last moment to kind of plug why people should choose a Z muffin over a cupcake or any other pastries that exist in the aisles at Kroger.
Mainly because it's a healthier choice and it's also produced local and it's delicious without the chemicals.
And I'll add that also, although made with zucchinis, I ate 2 and I didn't taste any zucchinis at all. So thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for bringing some delicious Z muffins, and we're glad to have you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Grindset on the Kudzukian Network.
Welcome back to Grindset. I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did. It was such a unique story from a 5th generation farm that was purchased during emancipation to growing zucchinis and using zucchinis in muffins and turning a family recipe into a business, and then having to grow a business after farming for 5 generations. And so I took some major keys out of this conversation. And the first one is monetize your skills. If you're good at baking, bake. If you're good at recording video, record. Monetize that. You're probably sitting on a gold mine that you don't know anything about because you just haven't said, I have this skill or I have this product to offer. 2, be bold. One of the things Samantha did, she just walked into the Kroger. She didn't have no business program to write. She didn't have relationships, but she was bold and she wanted to succeed. And another thing you'll learn from her Kroger story is there's no time like today. She didn't wait a few days to call. She followed up immediately. The next major key is don't be afraid to depend on people to get things done and grow your business. for Samantha, it started off with family, but now she's using outside marketing people. She's using attorneys to get her paperwork correct. And so use those people if you really want to grow. And the last one, there was a theme throughout all of this: follow up and follow through, and you can be successful. Samantha was the epitome of that. Now I'm about to go try one of these Z muffins, and at the very least, I hope you go to Kroger or Whole Foods or Farmers Market and support. Try it out, and I promise you won't be disappointed. You've been listening to Grindset, powered by the Kudzukian Network, and we'll see you next episode.
Grindset. Executive producer Epicenter. Grindset is directed, produced, and distributed by Kudzukian.